I really do believe that those scrolls have two different things. That one of the scrolls says elimination and the other one is a reward. But I do believe that, but I do wish, for the sake of the integrity of the show,
it would just show it.
You would show it, not for me. I don't need you to show me, because I always like to believe the best in people until you've given me a reason to not believe the best in you. But because I want the audience to see it.
Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy campers.
And after losing a combined weight of more than 200 pounds,
we realized we had so much more energy for activities.
Come along with us as we explore the great outdoors.
And join us on a brand new adventure.
So we just finished seeing day 3 for week 3 of RV Unplugged season 2.
Wow.
And it was an emotional day. Now, before we show you the footage, I just wanted to mention one thing, and that is as we move more and more into RV Unplugged, we have less like behind the scenes actual footage and more of just like diaries at the end of each day or at the beginning of the day, because there were rules with us having our cameras out when filming was going on. So the only time we could really ever take our cameras or our phones out would be in a downtime.
Yeah.
In a downtime. So there were a couple times where we had downtime where we are on a filming location, but for the most part, the downtime was when we were in our RV. Now, we're going to show you today's behind the scenes footage, which is, again, mostly us talking. But you will see we had to edit a lot of stuff out because there's some cliffhangers that we discussed in our diary throughout that day.
We don't want to spoil them.
But they were not yet shown in the show, and we don't want to spoil the next episode.
Right.
So next week's episode of our Afterthoughts diary is probably going to be a little bit longer because I know there is a lot of behind the scenes footage from that particular episode. But right now, let's get into Rachel's win.
Okay, we stink. It is, well, I smell like a campfire.
Well, yeah, you smell like a campfire.
But I just got out of the shower.
But I will say thank you to everybody who suggested the Scrubbies pads, because those things are working really well. And we actually found out from another contestant that there's actually
the same company,
a shower cap.
Yeah.
Where you could wash your hair. And like, I am going to buy some of those. They were on Amazon, I guess.
I left a link down below, or I will leave a link down below. And I saw them when I was ordering the Scrubbies, but I didn't realize it was like shampoo and conditioner. I thought they were literally like shower caps to stop you from getting your hair wet while you were using the Scrubbies. But evidently,
it's shampoo.
You put like 2 ounces of water or an ounce of water in there, and like
it's shampoos.
I need that. I think I need that.
I think you're good, but it's definitely a product that I would use. And I'm really proud of ourselves for not like, I think we have a healthy balance inside of our rig. It's not like we're not so clean that, you know, I want, you know, Martha Stewart looking and seeing like how clean our rig is. But at the same time, keeping minimal and kind of tidying up every day makes it nice. It really does make it nice.
And the thing, we're just tired at the end of the day, which is why I'm saying I'm sorry, because yesterday was a long day. In fact,
emotionally exhausting.
We didn't even do an intro, so we're going to have to kind of go back and film an intro for this video. But so yesterday was a long day. We were up at 5 a.m. We started our day. That's the one thing about the Scrubbies. If you have stubble, like here or here, it sticks.
The cotton in it.
And the cotton sticks to it. But so yeah, it's on my head because I didn't shave this morning. But we got up at 5 a.m. The day started by 7. We didn't get back to the RV until almost 10. And it was a very long day. So eating wise, I had like a bite of a keto brick during the day. And I think that's it. Until when we got back to the RV, like late last night, I ate like 4 pieces of brisket with 2 pieces of Swiss cheese on top. And that's
I
all I ate.
I ate a bunch of bacon jerky last night, and I think that I have cleaned off all the fat off of the brisket that we brought.
You left it.
Anything remaining is just the
leaner parts.
But I was like trying to just eat straight up fat.
I did eat a Reese's cup, or not a Reese's cup, a Quest cup.
That's nice.
You know what I mean. They know what I mean. I ate a set of Quest cups.
I ate a bag of sugar last night.
No, but we do have a guy here. When Kevin said on the promo, like
candy.
I eat candy. I was like, okay, you like candy. He likes candy. Like, he wakes up every morning and has an entire bag of candy. Of Sour Patch gummy bears.
Well, I don't know if they're Sour Patch, but they're definitely gummies.
Yeah, he likes candy, and it's like, but we're having a blast. This is definitely a lot harder than we thought it was going to be, both physically, mentally, and emotionally.
Yeah.
It is much harder than I thought it was going to be. We're doing great boondocking, by the way.
Yeah.
We haven't had to turn on our generator. Every day we come back, and I really have not tried to conserve power. I've never turned off the Starlink, which is a power hog. And every day by the end of the day, our batteries are back up to like 95%.
And it's interesting, when yesterday Joe was like, what are we, in the desert? Because it is super hot in the day, in the hot heat of the day, and then it's super cold in the early morning and at night.
Right.
So I think that we're really testing this sucker, because it's either a sweat box or it's the tundra.
Because we're running the heat all night long.
Yeah, and it's that cold.
The blower for the heater uses a lot of electricity. Yesterday it was so hot, we actually were spreading out salty to everybody.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, this stuff is amazing. And then when they look at the ingredients, they were like, oh my gosh.
Because again, most people are only going to be picking up the electrolytes that are suggested to them at a Costco.
Drinking Gatorade.
They're drinking Gatorade. They're drinking, Powerade. And then people are talking about things like Liquid IV. And so we're doing our best to share salty, but you also understand that you're bringing this to people who are only used to drinking electrolytes that aren't truly electrolytes, but more like a sweetened beverage. So it's hard to wrap your mind around the fact that salty is not going to taste like Gatorade. It's going to be salty because it has salt in it. It's like, it really actually is going to help. So I'm really... It's like you're catching someone in a very desperate situation, though, because they're like, I need something that works and I need it right now. And so I'm thankful that we're here to allow them to give salty a try and see what is the difference between how you feel after you drink even a diet or a Gatorade or Powerade versus how you feel after you drink a salty.
I said, God, be with me like you were with David, because he was small, outgunned for sure, but I need one between the eyes.
What is going through your mind?
My last prayer before I threw that axe, I was like, I knew that I was like outgunned. Like, I knew that I'd never done this before. And
all I kept telling saying was, God is on your side.
All I could think of was like, God, be with me like you were with David. I need this. I need precision, because I didn't just need a hit. I didn't need it to just stick. I needed it to land on that piece of paper. And I'm just so thankful that if I could protect in any way the rest of the team, that's what I wanted to do. That's what my heart was. And so I was like, nobody's going home. Nobody's going home. If I can do anything about it, nobody's going home.
No, I mean, right now, we don't even know if this was an elimination challenge. But at minimum, like, boy, talk about a morale booster.
Yeah, I needed that.
Right? I mean, it may just be a reward challenge. We don't know. At the time that we're filming this, we don't know. But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
because
matter.
you prove something to yourself.
Stop underestimating yourself. If you're watching this and you're thinking, I can't do stuff, or like, there's so many things I'm not good at, so I don't even want to try. Whatever it is, maybe it's going back to school. Maybe it is starting a new business. Maybe it is beginning a movement challenge for yourself. Do not give up. We're not out of this yet. So until the buzzer rings, don't give up.
I guess we just missed a giant blow up.
It looked like there were some people disagreeing is what I heard.
And that's concerning me now, because whether they're upset or not, this is a gameplay thing. And so I don't know where to go, because I want to be everybody's friend. And I know that at some point we're going to have to eliminate people if we want to win. But it's like, okay, do you tell them what they want to hear? Do you tell them what you actually feel? Or I think what we're doing right now is
hunker down.
And I don't want to look like the antisocial person, but
I don't like
if
shy.
I come out, and I don't want to be, I just don't want to be part of any kind of like animosity, or in the middle of like, what's the right word am I looking for?
I don't think that we have the answer. We don't have the solution. And I think that just because we have a voice in this, I don't think they need any more voices. Right. I think that everything that we had to say, we said in the laundry room, and we're saying here, and it is what it is. And the point is we got to get up tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And we got to play another day, no matter, where the cards fall, right? And so my best thing is
we have to start focusing on tomorrow, because
we have to focus.
Gotta be an elimination tomorrow.
There's gonna,
whether it be like the team has got to vote somebody off, or we have to just do our best ourselves to keep ourselves safe. And it's like you're battling like Survivor, where the first person on each team that wins has immunity, and we have to focus on that, because I just don't want to be in the middle of any drama. But now we're at the situation, if we say we feel one way about whether the scrolls are real, we're going to upset some people. And are they going to not want to vote? Are they going to want to vote us off because we don't agree with them? And then if we say it the other way, then other people, and we certainly don't want to upset the producer. I feel like we cannot win other than
hunker down
in the RV for a little while and try to avoid the drama, so that we're not put in the middle, because I don't want to be in the middle of the drama. I just want to meet people, have community, play the game, and more than anything, more than winning $25,000, a lot of this is proving to ourselves that we can do this. And
I can do stuff.
Let's end this on a positive note for this diary that we're giving. Talk about proving something. Like, it came down to you.
And that is my nightmare situation.
It came to you.
I'm going to tell you.
And forget me, I got knocked out, but you proved to yourself that you can work under stress, that God is on your side, because that was David in a slingshot.
I'm telling you what, I never bet on me. I think for a long time.
I bet on you.
Aww. Thank you for that. That is true. I think that for a long time, I haven't had very high expectations for myself, for being able to do anything like physical. And I didn't want anybody to count on me, because I don't think I believed in myself. I think that if you've been morbidly obese for a really long time, and you've always felt like not included and not really helpful to anybody, always like in the way. I think that that's how I kind of felt about myself, that I was so large, I was always in the way, and I always tried to stay out of people's way. I thought that was the nicest thing that I could do. And so that moment of realizing that Mandy, who was so flippin' awesome at throwing axes, was out.
And it was all on you.
And it was all on me. I thought, oh my gosh, somebody, and I didn't even think us, Joe. I just thought somebody on the red team is going home tonight, because I am inevitably going to fail them. They can't count on me, because I don't have enough expertise in this. I'm not strong enough. I'm not precise enough. Like, I can't do hard things, and you should just give up on me. Nobody should be counting on me. And I think that this was the perfect thing for me personally to be a part of, because there's no out, Rachel. You're gonna have to allow these people to just count on you in this moment.
I can tell you, when Mandy got eliminated, what went through my mind, and I don't want to admit this, but I was like, oh my gosh, it's all on Rachel. It's all on. And
Did you
it
think I was gonna fail?
I didn't think you
and
were
I don't,
gonna fail.
I'm not mad at you if you think
I
that.
did not think you were gonna fail. I didn't know if you would or not. We've been married for 15 years. I think. We've spent every day together since the day we met. So it's like
17 years.
17 years. So it's 16 years marriage, 17 years together, right? Well, it's not quite. We haven't had our anniversary yet, so almost. But I know your emotions. And I was like, I think she can do this. We have proven to ourselves over and over and over and over again that we can do hard things. I can walk when I was told I would never walk again. I officiate sports when I was told, like, that is the stupidest thing you could do based on the physical injuries that you have in your ankle. We were both over 300 pounds and morbidly obese, yet somehow we accomplished things. We would lay floors and lay sod and carry bags of mulch, and you would look at us and go, how could those two big fat people do what they're doing? So I know what we're capable of, but I do think that the other team is looking, oh great, we got Rachel. There's not a shot in the dark that she's going to get this. And I made a comment to Stacy today that I loved the way this game was set up because, again, as somebody who watches reality shows or used to watch them, these games, when you had a game like this where you were eliminating players on the other team,
right,
or even when the teams were merged and you were eliminating players, the bottom line is they were set up to build animosity against other people and make you worried. Like it set a line in the sand of, I'm gunning for you based on who's gonna. Everybody's going after this person. Everybody's going after that person. So I love the fact that on this game, the names were turned over. You were throwing and you had no idea who you were going to hit.
That was awesome.
I think that was the best thing that the producers could have done was to have you don't know who you're eliminating when you hit a piece of paper.
Right.
I like the suspense, the drama, but I like the fact that it took that out so nobody felt like, why are you gunning for me? I would also say this, and I said it in our team meeting afterwards. If the papers were turned, I believe they would have tried to get out in the exact order that we went out, where you took out Dustin first, because everybody perceived Dustin to be the best. And they would have gone after you and Mandy and Mary last. I believe that if they could have seen it, they would have wanted that order, figuring there is no way
we're not good at
Mandy,
stuff.
Mary, and Rachel are going to get us out. When you look at who's on
and
the
we
other
all
team.
hit ones.
And you guys carried our team. You carried our team. So when it came down to...
I mean, all the girls, I think...
Yeah, all the girls.
Honestly, I think what it would have been is they would have... Yeah, because Lisa was awesome at it.
All the girls.
All the girls. Yeah, Les. Like, it would all have been... They would have come after you guys.
Yeah. And so when it came down to you, I was like, when Rachel realizes it's only her, she's going to collapse. She's going to fall apart. And I saw it in your face when you realized it, and you're like, no, I got to do this. And then you got one, and then they still had to get two of you, and you're like, I got this. And then when you saw your face on that paper...
Ooh, it made me mad.
You were just like, I think you were really worried. You were really worried. And all I could just keep doing was yelling, God's on your side. God's on your side. Hoping that you can hear me over the challenges. Remember, God's on your side. And... for me, I didn't care whether you did it or not. I wanted to see you recover from the fact that, like, the odds are against you. The odds were against David. There's no way David is going to take down Goliath with a stupid slingshot.
Yeah.
But I wanted you to know it didn't matter win or lose. You tried. And then when you split that paper in half, like...
Were you like, could you have married me all over again right then?
I could have married you all over again. And I think that that's why everybody is upset right now. It made a huge impact, I think, number one, on our team, because I think you proved to our team that you can do something. Because, listen, I look at me, other than day one in building the solar system, what have I contributed?
Well, because if you decide,
we haven't had a challenge that
whoever participated in the individual challenge was not allowed to participate in the team challenge yesterday.
Right.
And then today, Yeah,
I got knocked out early.
You got knocked out. So, I mean, I can see the fear, but I honestly...
But I think you proved to the team that
still
you
think
are valuable.
I'm the weakest link.
And more importantly, you proved to yourself, I can do anything when God is on my side.
Well, I think that I am going to start cheering for myself.
Yeah.
And I really hope that somebody is watching this. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are like, my goodness, like how low of self-esteem could you possibly have? Like, that's not healthy. Why would you never root for yourself? Like, I hope that there's way more people that have a more healthy self-esteem and can cheer for themselves. But if you're out there like me and you've had a hard time believing in yourself, and maybe you've experienced a lot of past failure in your life, now is a good day to start believing in yourself. I think today, day 3 of this challenge, from now on, it's time to start Rachel rooting for Rachel is what I think.
I just realized we're all covered up because I have another one on, but we were recording for our keto video and
I didn't want to show anything.
We didn't want to show our colors because that's going to come out right away.
But it's time to root for ourselves, right? Like, even if no one else is cheering for you, God is cheering for you, and you need to be cheering for you, and that is enough. And do your best. And just lay it all out there on the table. And maybe you lose, but maybe you win. What if you win? Today, I won. And that was worth it. That was worth getting up and getting dressed and participating. This whole thing is maybe you win.
Okay, so before we get into your win,
Yes.
I kind of want to set up going into that day.
Right. What happened at the beginning of this episode?
Well, coming in from day 2, we were all devastated. We were absolutely devastated. I mean, we lost every challenge on day 2. I mean, yes, the 3rd challenge was just a battle of Phil and Stacy, but it was for our team, because what a lot of people don't know watching, and I don't know if it was really explained well at the beginning of this series, was Phil and Stacy didn't know what was going on. So in season 1, they knew a lot of the challenges. And in season 2, they were kind of put in more with the team. So they didn't know the challenges. They didn't know what to expect or what we were going to do.
Or them.
And so there were a lot of times where we needed clarification. That's where Stacy and Phil would come in, and they would go to the director and the producer to get clarification, but they were just as in the dark as we were. So when our minds were running rampant with like possibilities, they were right along with us. And I did really enjoy having Stacy on our team to be able to help us with that. Also calm us down when our minds would go too far. Like, oh my gosh, what if they make us all jump out of a plane? You know?
Yeah, absolutely. So after the episode 1, we have like struck first blood, right? Like, so we felt really great. I think that was good for us as a team, thinking to ourselves, wow, they look like they are very physically opposing. Like, I don't know if we can beat them in like a physical face-off. So to have that win and change that mindset for the entire red team, that like we can win stuff. We just need to stick together and be clear about our roles. That was amazing. Then you go into day 2 and our huddle around the fire is a lot sadder as we have to think about now gameplay is going too, right? Like, are we going to have to face a vote off because we lost everything today?
And you see just in the first 2 and now 3 episodes how people's emotions really get a hold of them. I mean, $25,000 is on the line. You're trying to get to the end. So, you know, you see where people are like, well, this wasn't fair or that wasn't fair. And I know people have brought up like, well, it wasn't fair with Aaron because they only had 9, you know, whereas we have 10 in the first day with the tent. But then in day 2,
He's the star.
Aaron is the star. So even though Archer doesn't get to participate, Aaron got to participate in both challenges.
And if you had
it balances out in the end.
It does, because I believe that if you were giving him, hey, everybody only gets to participate in one challenge for the day,
and he had to choose,
I think he would have chosen the individual immunity challenge.
Because nobody knew what the water challenge was.
Exactly.
And when you're told this is an individual challenge, you're like, okay, this is for us. This is for a chance at a token, and we did see that, it was an immunity token, right? It was a camp pass.
So when he goes on to have the ability to participate in the second challenge as well,
that was an advantage for them.
Not only does he score a tremendous amount of points, but every single person on that team that scored a point also acknowledged that he was a major factor in them being able to be successful.
And to be fair, Aaron was also coaching the red team throughout that entire process as well. I mean, Aaron he was a great guy to hang out with.
Super cool.
And by the way, he's an amazing dog trainer. You can just see
you can
the
tell.
way he works with Archer. He is just an amazing dog trainer, and it's a lot of fun to watch the way Archer is with Aaron. But that coming into day 3, we were super deflated from those losses, but then also excited because at least we didn't have to send somebody home because, we were at that point going, I don't know who to vote for.
Right. And I felt great going into day 3 for both teams because
it was an even slate now.
Exactly. Because blue had a near miss and they didn't have to vote off. And then now red had a near miss and they didn't have to vote off. So we came into episode 3 with really feeling thankful, grateful. But as you can tell from the discussion going on in the car, it was like, I don't care what this challenge is, team, we have to win.
So if we would have had to jump out of a plane directly into scuba diving, you would have done it.
I would have, because at that point,
it was a win or go home.
Well, and you had all of those discussions around the campfire as you're getting to know one another and you're hearing what everybody's doing in their life back home when they're not RVing, or they're not on RV Unplugged at least. We're hearing about their families, their jobs, like what they've done in chapter 1 and chapter 2 of their life. And it's just everybody has such a heartwarming story that I'm not thinking about like whether or not we're going home yet, really. I'm just thinking about, I want Team Red to win because I really care about all of these stories that I've been so privileged to hear about.
Yeah, and as we're driving over to ARCADIA, you see us in the car going, what if it's this, what if it's that? And I remember us all like looking on our phones, like at the location, going, what's around there?
Yes.
And like, oh, well, there's an airfield. Like, we were trying to figure out what could this be.
I want it to be eating contest.
We park, we get out of the car, we walk up, we see the axe throwing, and I have to be honest, I immediately started panicking. Not for you, but for me. Because if you don't know me, some people who watch our channel know, I have a lot of physical injuries. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I have problems with my ankle. This arm does not straighten because I dislocated this elbow years ago before I met you. And so it doesn't straighten anymore. I have issues where sometimes my hands go numb because I have a damaged nerve in my elbow. And so I was worried that like, I'm not going to be able to do this because, part of it is keeping your arms straight.
Yeah.
And I can't keep my arms straight. So I really was worried about doing the axe throwing because, again, I don't want to be a detriment to our team. And then you were panicking going, can I do this? And I remember the coaches, not Phil and Stacy, but the coaches from ARCADIA who were teaching us saying, women do better at this than men.
Yeah, I was really pleased to hear that because I guess I just pictured a bunch of lumberjack guys doing this and never considered this as like a date night option for us. Definitely put that out of your mind. If you're somebody that's like, hey, I'm looking for something new and different to do on a date, consider axe throwing.
Because it's not about strength.
No.
It's about technique. And he said a lot of times men come in thinking it's all about strength. And as, an Eagle Scout and always camping when I was growing up, I was always handling axes and chopping down trees, but I've never actually thrown an axe. I mean, if you were ever in the Boy Scouts, like you don't throw an axe, right?
And I had never touched one before except except for like in Home Depot to be like, wow, that's what an axe looks like. Because we don't live in a winter state. And so I never even chopped wood or held an axe. So I was very concerned. And Stacy is a fantastic coach. And we quickly came up with this strategy that I thought was brilliant. And that is everybody discuss who has experience with this, who thinks they would be good at this.
Make them go first.
So that we know that even if somebody gets like, chopped out of the competition quickly, we have the best possible chance that somebody that's good at this will get a strike.
We'll at least get a couple of strikes.
So me and Mary were kind of debating like who could be possibly worse at this. I lobbied that I would be worse at this. She lobbied that she would be worse at this. Both of us thought.
And I remember, I think the order that we came up with was like Dustin and Jess.
Yeah, they were really good at. David was good at this.
I mean, I think it was like Justin. I don't remember the exact. It was like Justin, David, Jess, and then Matt. And then after that, it was like myself and Mandy and you and Mary and so we didn't know what to do. And I just remember Dustin raising the question to Todd: what if they strike both before we could strike? And he was like, it's not going to happen. And then, of course, it happened.
Yes, because the way that you would go is there's like 2 slots for throwing an axe. So you have 2 shots when it is your turn.
Yeah, you go to one, and then you would move over to the next lane to throw the next one.
And Talmadge dealt a 1-2 knockout blow to Dustin. So it was like donezo.
And we go through the whole thing, and it was interesting because, yes, they had 9, we had 10, but it really was equal. Through the whole time, you can see there were times where blue was ahead, times where red was ahead. But then when it came down to the end, they actually had to change things a little bit because it was 2 people against 1.
Right.
So they were making you wait, so now they were getting 2 shots for your 1 shot.
And as weird as that sounds, losing momentum between every shot really was a disadvantage because you have a moment to stop thinking, do the job, and start thinking like, oh my gosh, what if you're not enough? And it was in that moment when I had to wait between shots where it just really sunk in that it is down to just me.
What did you think? Because when Mandy got eliminated, I was like, oh no.
Matt and Mandy were incredible at this, by the way.
They were, I mean, listen, the girls carried the team.
Lisa was freaking fantastic.
Jess.
Mary, like everybody, Leslie, like every single person I feel like did better than they thought they could, which I thought was a great victory for all of us, right? But in that moment, I truly just had a second waiting to look at you. And I'm pretty sure, after so many years being married, you knew the look on my face was, oh no, Joe, this is on me. And you know that I fail at stuff. Like, we don't want the team to have to count on me.
And it wasn't even the failing stuff. I wasn't worried about you failing. I was worried about you emotionally and your anxiety and that the pressure was going to get you down. Because a lot of people don't know. I mean, you see this woman who's great at talking on camera and we can speak in front of hundreds and thousands of people.
That was not
the case just 7 years ago, like pre-keto. Like Rachel had tremendous anxiety to the point where there were times where you couldn't get out of the car to go into a bank for fear of seeing people.
Yeah, it was just, and so now I'm in this moment where all eyes, people that I care about, that maybe I've just met them, but I care about them. I care about their future in this game. And this was the team challenge of deciding whether or not like our team was going to the voting block or not. So I thought, goodness me, all of these people's futures and their opportunity is on me. And I wish that it was on somebody that was more deserving of this moment. But then, you, as being a good teammate, cheered out to me being like, basically get your eyes off yourself, Rachel, and trust God in this moment. Not that this is like some sort of prayer that you have for world peace or something super important, right? Like, I understand that this is just a game. But in that moment, I think that the real battles in our life are really fought on the battlefield of our own mind. And I think that in that moment, my partner in life was reminding me, hey, trust God. He cares about the little things. He cares about the great big things, but he also cares about the little things, and he cares about your anxiety and your worry in this moment.
Now, something that I don't think we've discussed in these first 2 or 3 diaries, and I think we may mention it in one of the actual diaries we did that day, was that the week before RV Unplugged was the Florida RV Super Show.
Right.
A few days before that, we were actually on a cruise with a bunch of our subscribers. We call it the 2KK Getaway Cruise. And so that was the second week of January. The third week of January was the Florida RV show. And then the fourth week, we're reporting for filming. And when we had gone on the cruise, one of our subscribers, Sarah, was with us. She went home
to Wisconsin. And then the next day just followed this feeling that she had to get back on a plane, fly to Florida, right,
surprise you at the Florida RV Super Show, and hand you 15 envelopes.
Right. And in each envelope was an encouraging scripture for each day. None of them were marked. It wasn't like day 1, day 2, day 3.
I wish we would have filmed this.
Yeah, but it was just, hey, every morning, like, let this be your thought for the day.
And so what we would do is each morning,
I just fan them out.
Every morning we're getting up between 4 and 5 a.m. depending on call time to pray. And that is something that we always do as partners, is that we get up in the morning, we pray, we read together, then we pray together, we do communion. And so Rachel would come and present, like in a fan, like a deck of cards, these envelopes, and pick one. And every single day, we would read that scripture and go, what does this mean?
What does this mean?
But at the end of the day, it applied to that day.
It totally did. And it kept us like focused on what was most important. And that was to be a good team player, to give it your all, and to not just like fall apart in negativity, because we challenge people all the time and on our Two Crazy Ketos channel to believe for better than what you have right now, to like believe that even if you failed in past health challenges for yourself, or you've had, you've been like us and you were chronic dieters and you're like, man, I failed so many times in my plans for myself, that you still have to bring hope to each new day. And that's kind of what we wanted to achieve, on RV Unplugged.
Now, before we move into the second part of the day, I do want to do a shameless plug.
Okay.
And that is yes, we had that 2KK Getaway Cruise in January. We are having another one this year, December 8th. It's a 6-night cruise out of Fort Lauderdale on Oasis of the Seas. It is open to both of our channels.
Yes, but there's only 100 people that will be there.
Yes, and we've got like 60-something already. So I'll leave a link for that down below. You don't have to be keto, because this is about community.
Right.
This is not about keto. We don't have speakers. It is just about
hanging out together,
forming community and hanging out together. There was a lot of people who came even last year who don't eat the ketogenic diet, and you can eat keto on a cruise and you can not eat keto on a cruise. We have videos on how to stay keto, but we'll leave a link for that down below. So, little shameless plug, if you are interested in just hanging out with the 2KK community, whether you're part of Two Crazy Campers or Two Crazy Ketos, use that link down below, or you can message me at 2kktravel@gmail.com. So now let's move into the kick soccer dart thing.
Oh my goodness.
Let's talk about, okay, first of all, we get in there and immediately Mary finds a pouch that she did not give away.
She did not. Hey, she did not give away, but she also did not broadcast.
But
it was seen.
We all figured it out.
Yeah.
We all saw it very, very quickly that she had it. And of course she wasn't going to, tell anybody. So that's something that you see coming up later on. So we have that. So now we're already going into this challenge, which is an individual challenge. And we all know that Mary now has a pouch that is going to get her into the key room, which means they could possibly get some type of an immunity. I mean, it could also be like a group reward. We don't know. But that was going through our minds. So now we have to pick who was going to do this kicking thing.
Well, and we had to think about
Yesterday.
Tomorrow, honestly.
Yeah, well, we referred back to yesterday and then thought about tomorrow.
We thought about tomorrow. So we're coming into this kicking challenge thinking to ourselves, cool, for today, we won the team challenge for this day 3.
Which is the most important.
So Team Red as a collective is safe tonight. That's what we're thinking. Blue's going home. So, but this is an individual challenge, and we just realized, like, at least, you know, it was getting, you know, spread that, Mary found one. So remember, it's not just Team Red, it's also who is on Team Red. And you've got to think about tomorrow, will we be as fortunate to win the team challenge? If not, we're going to have to consider voting someone off, and it looks like one of us could have immunity.
Yeah, and I'm still at the point in my head where I don't know if I want to go in that key room.
Right.
Because we saw in today's episode that when you go in that key room, if you get an immunity token, you can't tell anybody. And like I said last week, and at this point, remember last week when we talked about that in the RV, we did not know this rule.
Right.
Right. We went into this going, we are not going to lie under any circumstance. And a lot of people have messaged us like, it's a game, you can lie. But you have to remember, we come from being children's pastors and children's directors and teaching 3, 4, you know, all the way up to, you know, 5th grade, telling children
Never
lie.
Never lie.
And we know that a lot of these children are watching us. And so I don't want to have to answer the question for them coming back when we come home going, oh, so you mean, Mr. Joe, you mean don't lie unless $25,000 is on the line?
Exactly.
I thought, you know, a lie is a lie is a lie is a lie.
So
we didn't want to lie.
I'd rather go home than betray their trust.
Right.
And undermine what we tried to pour into these, you know, this faith, this foundation that we had created in kids ministry. So, but
now we find out that if you do get a key token and you get something and it's for you, you cannot tell anybody. And if you do tell someone, the powers of that token are now gone.
This is new to me.
So in other words, they are literally forcing you to lie, because now if you go in there and you get something, you have to come out and go, I didn't get anything, because you can't even come out and go, I got something. Because if you come out and go, I got something, the powers are gone.
Right.
I mean, I guess you could come out and just not say anything. But if everybody knew, which they did, that Kevin and Tabitha went in there.
I assume they just, because what I did not get was that I
guess the answer in hindsight would be go in and come out and say, I can't tell you.
Right.
But everybody will assume that you have it.
Well, my thought, I still did not understand at this point that when you went into the key room, it was still that token that you won was just a chance at an immunity token. I thought that the token was the get out of jail free card. So I just completely assumed that Kevin and Tabitha at that point had immunity. I didn't see it as any other way. I saw.
You must have missed it during the show when he said that the key room gets you in for a chance.
Clearly,
and you're also not a reality show person, because like in Big Brother, it was the same thing. You would go in.
So I didn't know.
You never knew.
And we didn't know about anything that was going on, you know, in the key. We were not inside the key room. So like when we saw Jess and David in the key room, that's the first time we're hearing that conversation as contestants. When Kevin comes out and tells his team, I didn't get anything, that's the first time we're hearing this. Like, we as contestants have not seen what was going on behind the scenes until we're seeing these episodes, just like you guys.
So for the soccer thing, that is why we decided that Rachel would do the dart thing, because we started thinking that, okay, we've already won today. Today is good. Yes, if you win this challenge, that's great. You get a chance for the key room. But we need to think about tomorrow as well.
Right. And
we already figured that there's a good chance that Mary and Lisa are going to have one. So we'll throw it up, chance it, let you do this, and hold me for the next day, because everything is an unknown. And as I said in the after show, that was the hardest part. Like the most emotionally draining part was not the actual games or the gameplay or the show itself. It was the downtime where your mind just started running rampant with what ifs.
Right. And so I do think that after having the Back It Up Terry challenge, we were starting to get the message that, like, don't
expect the unexpected.
Don't think that anything's going to go down the way you think it is. So I kind of thought with the soccer thing, maybe I have a chance at this because I have a feeling that this ball is not like a normal soccer ball. It's made to look like a normal soccer ball, but it really
didn't act like it.
Isn't. And we found out, like, in the end that it's more about, for like, maybe we'll spoil it for people who come to the finale rally. It is more like elementary school ball where you almost need to have it like on the top of your foot or something. You can't hit it like to the side like a soccer ball.
No, you tried that.
And it just...
We told you, try kicking with the side of your foot, and it just went... Pfft.
It's like, think that you are playing with preschoolers and little kids, and that ball does not act like it's supposed to act, like you're thinking that it's supposed to act. And we were right. So I knew that even though Joe may have been better like at an athletic thing, like kicking the ball than I would, I knew that it was going to mess with us anyway. So it might as well be me.
Yeah. So that's where we pretty much end up. We go and now we don't know what happened as the result of the vote off.
Yeah. Now that's was a surprise.
That's the surprise. So that's going to be held till next week. That's a lot of what we had to edit out was the results of the fact that we won that challenge and Blue lost that challenge. So we'll pick this up again next week. We are really, really excited that everybody is joining us. Again, sorry that we don't have a lot of behind the scenes footage. We just had to edit a lot out, but I promise you next week, if you want a long video, next week will probably be a longer video, but we'll do a shorter of us talk here. Now, if you like seeing videos like this, please do us a favor. Make sure you hit that like button down below. That does two things. Number one, it really lets us know what kind of videos you guys are looking to see. But also, number two, it really does help build the channel, which we greatly appreciate.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also the bell button. And that way, every single time there's an axe-throwing mom, you'll be alerted to it.
Till next time.
Happy camping.